10 years ago, I turned down a job in another city.
What happened?
I was scared, so I stayed where I felt safe.
Do you still think about it?
More often than I'd like to admit.
What do you think would have happened?
I have no idea. That's the hardest part.
I have one too, from university.
Go on.
I didn't ask a professor for help for a whole semester.
Why not?
I thought it would make me look weak.
And now?
Now I know one short email could have saved me months of stress.
So, we both carry one of these around.
Everybody does, I think. Some small, some huge.
So today, let's talk about regret properly. What it is, why it stays with us, and what we can do about it.
Quick question first. If that job offer came back tomorrow, would you take it?
Probably yes. I'm a different person now.
So it's not only the job that bothers you.
No, it's more that I let fear choose for me.
Interesting. I thought you'd say you missed the city.
I do, a little, but mostly I miss the version of me who said yes.
A braver version.
Exactly.
But that version isn't real either, right?
Exactly. Maybe she'd love the city. Maybe she'd hate it.
Maybe she'd have a terrible boss.
Maybe she'd move home 6 months later.
But when we imagine the road we didn't take, we usually imagine the good version.
Exactly. My imaginary job has a great boss, great coworkers, a beautiful apartment, and no problems at all.
Very convenient.
Very.
My professor's story is smaller, but I still think about it sometimes.
When?
When I see a student staying quiet instead of asking for help.
You see yourself in them.
I do. I want to say, just ask.
Because you know how that silence feels.
Right. And maybe that's one good thing about regret. It helps you notice the same mistake faster.
And sometimes you can help someone else avoid it.
Can I tell you something I've never said out loud?
Go on.
Part of me still wants to email that professor, even now.
Seriously? What would you say?
Thank you for being patient with a student who is too proud to ask questions.
That's very specific.
I've thought about it a lot.
You should send it.
Maybe today's episode is dangerous for me.
Good. Let's get into it. And before we start, one quick thing.
We want to help you speak English with more confidence, not just understand it.
So if that matters to you, subscribe to the channel.
And now, regret.
Regret sounds simple. A bad choice, then a bad feeling.
But it's more complicated than that.
It is. Regret is often your mind comparing two lives.
The life you have and the life you imagine.
Exactly. And the imagined one usually looks better.
Because it never had to face real life.
Right. It can stay perfect because it never really happened.
So every what if is like a little movie in your head.
And you're the director.
Which means you can remove all the boring and painful parts.
That's the problem. You're comparing your real, messy life with an edited, imaginary one.
That's not fair.
Not at all.
Let's use your job example. What does the imaginary version look like?
I move. I love the job. I meet interesting people. I become more confident.
Any bad parts?
Apparently not.
No loneliness? No bad manager? No moment where you call a friend and say, I made a terrible mistake?
For some reason, my imagination never includes that scene.
So one useful question is, am I imagining the whole road or only the best part?
Exactly. The other road would have had problems too. Different problems, but still problems.
That doesn't mean your regret isn't real.
No, the feeling is real, but the story in your head may not be complete.
Missed chances seem to stay with people for a long time.
They can, because a mistake has an ending. You know what happened.
But a missed chance stays open.
Right. Your mind can keep making new endings for it.
At 25, maybe I should have taken that job.
At 35, maybe it would have changed my whole career.
And at 50, you're the boss of an imaginary company.
Exactly. The imaginary life grows with you.
Does regret feel the same in every culture?
The basic feeling may be the same, but what people regret can depend on what they were taught was important.
Give me an example.
Imagine two people get a great job offer in another country. One grew up hearing, build your own life, take chances. The other grew up hearing, stay close to family, be there when they need you.
Same decision, but very different pressure.
Exactly. If they stay, the first person may regret missing an adventure. If they leave, the second person may regret missing time with family.
So regret doesn't come from only one thing.
No, family, culture, money, opportunities, expectations, all of that matters.
So when we look back at an old decision, we should remember the situation around it.
Absolutely.
People also mix up regret and nostalgia.
They're close, but they're different. Nostalgia means missing something good from the past. Regret means wishing something had happened differently.
So I can miss university, that's nostalgia, and regret not spending more time with friends.
Exactly.
And both feelings can happen at the same time.
Very easily. That's why an old memory can feel warm and painful at once.
So why does regret feel so strong?
One reason is that our brains like simple stories.
Such as?
If I'd done X, everything would be fine now.
Even if there's no way to know that.
Exactly. Real life is much more complicated. Your career, for example, may be shaped by your education, your family, luck, the economy, timing, and many small choices.
But regret gives you one simple answer.
I didn't take that job, so that's why my career isn't where I want it to be.
A simple answer feels easier to understand.
Even if it isn't completely true.
There's another reason regret exists. Sometimes it can help us.
Definitely. Imagine you say something cruel during an argument and later you regret it.
The feeling tells you not to do it again.
Better than that, it can give you a clear lesson. Next time I'm angry, I'll wait before I speak.
So regret can help you learn from experience.
Exactly. That's when regret is useful.
And when does it stop being useful?
When you already understand the lesson, but you keep hurting yourself with the same memory.
Useful regret says, learn this.
Unhelpful regret says, play this again and again.
That's a good difference.
Learn from it. Don't live inside it.
Sometimes regret also becomes a story about who you are.
Yes, I made a bad decision becomes I'm bad at making decisions.
Or I was afraid becomes I'm a coward.
One moment starts to feel like proof about your whole personality.
How can you notice that happening?
Listen for words like always, never, and the kind of person. For example, I always ruin good opportunities. Or I'm the kind of person who gives up.
Those sentences are much bigger than the real event.
Exactly. Regret makes us remember some things and forget others.
Another reason missed chances stay with us is that they don't have an ending.
If you apply for a job and don't get it, the story ends.
It may hurt, but at least you know.
If you never apply, your mind can ask, would I have got it? For years.
And comparison makes it worse.
You see someone who took the risk you didn't take, and they succeed.
Then their success feels like proof that you missed your chance.
Even though you only see part of their story. You see the promotion, not the stress. The new business, not the money problems. The move abroad, not the lonely first months.
So another person's life can make our imaginary life feel more real.
Exactly. And there are a few types of regret worth talking about. First, regretting something you did.
That's action regret. Sending an angry message, quitting too fast, spending money you couldn't afford.
The useful part is that you have real information.
Right. You can ask, what happened? What did I miss? What would I do differently next time?
And the opposite is inaction regret.
Something you didn't do. The application you never sent. The person you never called. The language you kept saying you'd learn next year.
That last one may be uncomfortable for some listeners.
Good. A little discomfort can help sometimes. Inaction regret can be harder because you don't know what would have happened.
Exactly. You know what happened when you stayed where you were. You don't know what would have happened if you'd acted.
So your imagination fills the empty space.
usually with a very nice story.
A third type is regretting who you were.
Not one decision, but a whole period of your life.
Maybe you were selfish. Maybe you were distant. Maybe you spent years trying to impress people you didn't even like.
That can hurt because one apology can't fix a whole period.
What helps?
Ask, does any part of that old behavior still exist in me today?
And if the answer is no,
Then maybe you've already changed more than you think.
and if some of it is still there,
Then the regret has shown you what you still need to work on.
again, lesson, not punishment.
Exactly.
What about regretting lost time?
That's very common. I wish I'd started earlier.
Like someone who's 40 and wishes they started learning English at 20.
Right, and here's the problem. Sometimes people use the fact that they didn't start 20 years ago as a reason not to start today.
I'm sad I lost 20 years, so I'll lose another year thinking about those 20 years.
Exactly.
What's the better question?
If I start now, what could be different 1 year from today?
That puts your attention on time you can still use.
Exactly.
And another difficult kind, words you never said.
Never thanking someone, never saying sorry, never telling someone how much they meant to you before the chance was gone. Sometimes you really can't fix that moment.
No. Then the lesson may simply be, say important things while you still can.
Which type do you have most?
Inaction, easily.
Same. We keep coming back to the same 2 stories.
Maybe that's how regret works, a few stories that we see again from different angles.
And maybe the goal isn't to forget them.
Just to stop letting them control what happens next.
Let's talk about a few common ideas about regret that aren't always true.
First, regret means you made the wrong choice.
Sometimes you did make a bad decision, but a bad result doesn't always mean the decision itself was bad.
Exactly. Imagine choosing between 2 jobs. One company looks safe, one looks risky. You choose the safe company, and 6 months later, it suddenly closes.
Bad result.
Very bad.
But choosing that company wasn't necessarily stupid with the information you had.
So we should separate the decision from what happened later.
Yes, regret often mixes those 2 things together.
Second idea, successful people don't have regrets.
Regret can actually create new regrets.
How?
Imagine working for 20 years to build your career and getting what you wanted. Then, one day, you think about all the weekends you missed with your family.
So getting something can also show you what it cost.
Exactly. Every big choice has a price.
Which means regret doesn't always mean you're behind in life.
Right.
Okay? Third idea, we should try to have 0 regrets.
I don't think that's realistic. If you make real choices without knowing the future, sometimes you'll wish you chose differently.
So the goal isn't never regret anything.
It's know what to do when regret comes.
Fourth idea, talking about regret always helps.
It can help, but only if the conversation goes somewhere useful.
What do you mean?
There's a difference between understanding a regret and telling the same story again and again without learning anything.
New. So after talking about it, ask, do I understand something better?
Exactly. Or did I just play the same movie again?
And the fifth idea, happy people don't have regrets.
Not true. You can love your life and still wonder about another life you could have had.
So you can be thankful and still feel regret.
Absolutely.
Humans are complicated.
Very.
So what actually helps?
Let's make this practical.
First, separate the choice from the result.
How? Take one decision you regret and ask 3 questions. What did I know at the time? What didn't I know? With that information, was my decision understandable?
Not perfect, understandable.
Exactly. That's a fairer question.
Second strategy.
Write down the real lesson.
Not, I'm an idiot.
That's not a lesson.
So what is?
Something clear and useful. Next time I don't understand something, I'll ask for help. Or, I won't make an expensive decision when I'm angry.
A good lesson should change what you do next time.
Exactly. If it doesn't help with the future, it's probably just criticism.
Third, take one small action now if you still can.
Regret makes us look backwards. Action helps us face forward again.
Examples.
You regret losing touch with someone? Send a message. You regret not exercising? Take a walk today. You regret not learning English earlier? Speak 3 sentences out loud after this episode.
The action doesn't need to fix the past.
Right. It just needs to show that you're choosing differently now.
Fourth strategy, be fair to your past self.
I like the word fair because it doesn't mean pretending you did nothing wrong.
You can say, yes, I made a mistake, but I understand why I made it.
Exactly. You can take responsibility without hating the old version of yourself.
Fifth, give yourself a time limit for thinking about it.
Give yourself 10 minutes. Think about the regret on purpose. Write about it if you want. Find the lesson. Then go back to your day.
And if the thought comes back,
Tell yourself, I've already thought about this today. I can come back to it tomorrow if I need to.
you're not trying to stop the thought forever.
No, you're just giving it a limit.
Sixth, use the regret to help someone else.
That's what we're doing now. My missed job becomes advice about fear. Your professor's story becomes advice about asking for help.
The pain doesn't become good just because you learned something,
That's important.
but you can still make something useful from it.
Exactly.
Seventh, give the regret a name.
My Chicago regret. The university regret.
Why does that help?
Because then it becomes one clear story instead of my whole life is wrong.
And one last strategy?
Ask if the regret is still asking you to do something.
Explain.
Some regrets are finished. Nothing can be changed. Others are not. Maybe you've spent 3 years regretting that you stopped painting.
The regret may simply be saying, start painting again.
Or maybe you regret losing contact with someone.
Then maybe it's saying, call them.
Exactly. Sometimes we think about regret in a very deep way when the next step is actually simple.
Let's try this with some real examples.
Okay,
All right, a relationship ends badly.
first ask what exactly you regret. Choosing that person, staying too long, leaving too early, how you behaved, what you accepted.
Different regrets give you different lessons.
Exactly. If the regret is too general, the pain stays general too. If you make it clear, you can learn something clear.
Suppose I regret how I behaved.
Then separate what you did from who you are. I behaved badly is something you can learn from. I'm a terrible person doesn't show you what to change.
Next, something you said in anger.
If saying sorry is possible and makes sense, apologize.
Even years later,
Sometimes, but don't apologize only because you want them to make you feel better.
So you can say sorry without asking for forgiveness.
Exactly.
And if they don't answer?
You still take the lesson with you.
Third, a missed career chance.
Ask if the exact chance is gone, or if the bigger thing you wanted is still possible.
What do you mean?
Maybe you can't take the job you rejected 10 years ago, but what did that job mean to you? Adventure? A new city? More responsibility? Independence?
So find what you really wanted inside that old opportunity?
Exactly. The old door may be closed, but there may be other doors.
That's probably the most useful thing you've said about your own story.
I know.
So are you moving?
Don't get excited.
Fourth, regretting not learning English earlier.
Very relevant for our listeners.
The logic is simple. If you wish you started 5 years ago, waiting another year won't help.
But people often think, I'm already too late.
And that thought makes them wait even longer.
Exactly. A better sentence is, I can't start earlier than today.
Fifth, a friendship that slowly disappeared.
This happens all the time. Nobody has a big fight. 2 weeks become 2 months. 2 months become 2 years.
And then sending hi feels very hard.
Because you think the message needs to explain 2 years of silence.
But it doesn't.
Exactly. I've been thinking about you. How are you? Can be enough.
Worst case, they don't reply.
Which may hurt, but at least you tried.
Or maybe it's a new beginning.
Exactly.
Last example, money.
I wish I'd started saving 10 years ago.
Another regret about lost time.
You can spend hours thinking about how much money you could have now, but that doesn't change your bank account today.
What you do today can change it.
Exactly. Regret often asks for impossible actions. Go back 10 years. Useful thinking asks for possible actions. Save something this month. Surely, some regrets are much heavier than these examples.
What do you do with those?
First, accept that not every regret completely disappears.
That's not a very nice answer.
I know, but I think it's true. Some things just become softer over time.
Like a scar instead of an open wound?
Exactly.
And if regret affects your daily life for a long time?
Then it may be worth talking to a qualified professional. We're talking here about normal regret and reflection, not trying to replace professional care.
That's important.
Very.
What does a hard regret day feel like for you?
Sometimes I'll be doing something completely normal, and the memory just appears. Maybe I'm making coffee. Maybe I hear a song.
And suddenly you feel like you're back there.
Emotionally, yes.
What do?
I try not to make the feeling bigger. I notice it and say, okay, this memory is here again.
Instead of, why am I still thinking about this? I should be over it.
Exactly. That second reaction only adds another problem,
Now you feel bad about feeling bad.
which isn't very useful.
Do you use a phrase?
Sometimes I say, this is a memory, not the present moment.
That helps separate then from now.
Right. I let the feeling stay for a moment. Then I return to what I was doing.
You don't try to force it away.
No, but I also don't give it my whole afternoon.
Does talking to someone help?
If it's the right person, someone who can listen without quickly giving you 5 solutions.
I'm bad at that.
You are.
Thank you.
Sometimes that sounds hard is more helpful than here's what you should do.
Because not every feeling needs a quick answer.
Exactly.
Are there times when old regrets get stronger?
Stress, birthdays, anniversaries, going back to an old place, seeing someone from that time in your life.
Even good events?
Yes, a wedding can remind you of an old relationship. A promotion can remind you of a career path you left.
Feelings don't always follow simple rules.
No, a happy day can still have a sad moment.
There's one thing we haven't talked about enough.
What's that?
Sometimes regret shows you what is important to you.
That's a big point.
If I deeply regret losing a friendship, maybe it's not only about that person.
Maybe it's showing you that friendship is more important to you than you realized.
If I regret spending years doing work I hated,
Maybe freedom, creativity, or meaningful work is very important to you.
if I regret never traveling.
Maybe you really value adventure or seeing new places.
So instead of only asking, how do I stop feeling this, we could ask, what is this feeling showing me?
Exactly.
Feelings can give us information.
But they don't always tell us what to do.
Explain.
Feeling regret doesn't always mean you should go back. Maybe you regret ending a relationship because you miss the person.
But that doesn't mean getting back together is a good idea.
Right. The feeling may simply say, this relationship was important to me.
Not go back.
Exactly.
Same with a career?
Yes. You can regret leaving an old job without wanting the whole job back. Maybe you miss the people or the teamwork.
So try to understand what you miss.
Exactly. Sometimes you don't need the old situation back. You just need more of what was good inside it.
That's much more useful than simply asking, should I go back?
Often, yes. You know, there's another trap. Trying to build a perfect future so you'll never regret anything again.
I've done that.
Me too.
You start thinking every decision has one correct answer,
And if you think long enough, you'll find it.
which can make it very hard to choose anything.
Exactly. Because you want a guarantee. Which job guarantees happiness? Which city guarantees you won't feel lonely? Which relationship guarantees you won't get hurt?
None of them.
That's the uncomfortable answer.
So, avoiding future regret can't mean avoiding all risk.
No, it means making the best decision you can, even when you can't know everything.
How?
Ask what matters to you. Get enough information. Notice if fear is choosing for you. Then make the decision.
And accept that later you may still have mixed feelings.
Exactly.
Maybe there's freedom in understanding that every choice costs something.
Yes. Say yes to one job, you say no to another.
Move to one city, you leave another place behind.
Spend Saturday working, you lose Saturday resting.
Spend Saturday resting, you lose Saturday working.
Every choice closes another option.
Which means a little what if may simply be part of making real decisions.
Not every what if needs to become a big problem.
Sometimes it's just part of choosing.
And one last thought before we finish.
Go on.
Regret doesn't prove that you failed at life.
Sometimes it simply proves that something was important to you.
And sometimes it shows you what is still important now.
So you can look back without living in the past.
Exactly.
There's a small weekly habit worth trying.
Once a week, ask, is there a small choice I'm avoiding right now because I'm afraid?
And if the answer is yes,
Don't force yourself to act immediately. First, ask what you're afraid of. Failure? Rejection? Embarrassment? Change?
then ask, is this fear protecting me from real danger or only from feeling uncomfortable?
Exactly. Fear can be useful. We're not saying always take the risk.
We're saying know who's making the decision.
You or your fear.
That's really what your job story was about.
Yes. Maybe I still would have said no, but I wish I had thought about the offer calmly instead of letting fear answer immediately.
So your regret isn't exactly, I should have said yes.
It's more, I wish fear hadn't answered before I did.
That's much clearer.
And being clear helps.
One warning before we finish. Don't turn this episode into a search for hidden regrets.
Please don't make a list called Everything I've Done Wrong Since 2004.
Very specific.
I know our audience.
The goal isn't to create more pain.
Right. It's to know what to do when regret naturally appears.
And not every painful memory is regret.
Exactly. Regret usually has a choice inside it. I wish I had done something differently. Some painful things simply happened to you.
Those memories need a different kind of care.
Yes, don't try to use the same idea for every difficult memory.
There's one more connection I like, regret and hope.
They feel like opposites.
But both come from caring about your future. One looks backward, one looks forward.
And maybe learning to deal with regret makes it easier to take good risks because you stop needing a future with no mistakes.
Exactly. Confidence isn't, I'll always choose correctly.
It's, I'll be okay even if I make the wrong choice sometimes.
That's the kind of confidence I'd rather have.
Before we recap, let's use some of today's English.
We used several useful phrases: turn down a job offer, what if, move on, look back, missed chance, let something go, make sense at the time, take a risk, and stay with you.
Let's hear a few in context. I turned down a job offer because I was afraid to take a risk.
I missed that chance. It stayed with me for years.
Now I can look back on that decision differently.
Notice that stay with you can describe a memory, feeling, sentence, or experience that you keep thinking about.
Something my teacher said stayed with me for years.
And move on means continuing with your life instead of thinking about something from the past again and again.
It took me a while to move on after losing that job.
Now, let's make this active.
If you can speak out loud, pause the episode and finish this sentence.
When I look back, I wish I had.
Say your answer out loud.
Now add a second sentence.
But now I've learned to.
For example, when I look back, I wish I had started learning English earlier. But now I've learned to practice a little every day.
One more challenge. Use what if.
Ask one question about a choice you didn't make.
What if I had moved to another city?
What if I had studied something different?
And now answer with the most honest sentence possible.
Which is,
I don't know.
that's the whole episode.
Pretty much.
Your final speaking challenge is 3 sentences.
Sentence 1. Say what you regret.
Sentence 2, say what you learned.
Sentence 3. Say one thing you can do now.
Here's mine. I regret not asking my professor for help. I learned that asking questions isn't weakness. And maybe I'll finally send that email.
Maybe.
Fine, I'll send it.
Your turn. Pause the episode and say your 3 sentences. And let's recap quickly.
Regret often compares your real life with an imaginary life.
And the imaginary life usually looks better because we don't imagine all its problems.
Regret can help when it gives you a lesson.
But thinking about the same memory again and again isn't the same as learning.
Separate the decision from the result.
Ask what you knew at the time, what you didn't know, and whether your choice made sense then.
Be clear about what exactly you regret.
Ask what the regret is showing you about what matters to you.
Take one small action if you still can.
And if you can't change the past, take the lesson into the future.
Finally, don't try to live a life with 0 regrets.
Try to live a life where regret can teach you something without controlling you.
And sometimes ask yourself, is fear making this decision for me?
If it is, give yourself enough time to answer in your own voice.
You've got this.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
If this episode helped, subscribe and leave a like.
And tell us in the comments, what's one small regret that taught you something useful?
Try answering in a full English sentence. I regret, but I learned... ...
And apparently, Mike has an email to send.
I knew I shouldn't have mentioned that.
Too late now.
See you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.